Hey guys, before you click away, I know not everyone likes Lost in the Pond, but there are some good videos that he has, and I know some people think he's not really, doesn't really speak for everybody. I get that, I totally do, but at the same point, sometimes between America and Great Britain there is this bridge to gap, and he actually does quite a good job if you're an American to a certain extent. There are some that you guys are absolutely right on, not great, but the clothes, let's see if he's right on this.
As spring is upon us, here are 5 clothing items I only wore after moving to the United States.
Okay, that's not spring. It's actually, what is it, November for us.
Oh yes, look at this. I look like a truck driver from a 1980s movie.
He's not
or
wrong.
A baseball player, because that's what this is. It's a baseball cap.
Yep.
And because we don't have the game of baseball in the UK, these aren't as popular over there, and
Yeah.
I never wore one. That's a lie, I did. I did once wear that Lightwater Valley hat. It was big, orange and bright, but I was a child. It was to help locate me if I got lost, and to look cool. I didn't ever achieve that, unfortunately. I had a tie-dye t-shirt. I think all children aged 12 did in the 90s. But this baseball cap has quite a lot of meaning to me. Firstly, it's a St. Patrick's Day baseball cap that I purchased, I think, last year or the year before. But also, of course, it's Chicago-based. And the reason that this is personal for me is that I moved to Chicago just before the Cubs won the World Series, and I was actually in Wrigleyville the night it happened, and it was crazy and meant I didn't have a baseball cap then. I needed to stay neutral in case there were any opposition fans
That is
in
fair.
and around, although they would have been beaten to death.
No,
I'm
they
not saying
wouldn't have.
that baseball fans are murderous. I know what it's like when...
No. All right. First of all, I'm going to stop him right here because if you're, I've been to football matches, you know, not American football. So I've seen, and I've actually in Argentina, I've seen weapons pop out and stuff like that. They don't really do all that in the U.S. It's only for like major championship games. People go out and they party, and if you're not one of the winners, you just don't go there. It's just a thing. So
people have had beers at a sporting event of that magnitude. Anyway, baseball caps are something that I've come to wear if I'm going casual,
Yeah,
and it's
it's a
the
casual
summer
thing.
months or the spring months and the sun is out and, you know, otherwise shining in my eyes. Although that doesn't typically happen here in Chicago, where there's lots of cloud cover. And in that respect, it is a lot like England, and in that respect only. Something that I wouldn't wear in the summer months is our next entry.
okay, so here's the thing on baseball caps. There was a big baseball thing that happened, and the whole point was you had to throw, and you throw the ball, someone hits it just like rounders, right? But sometimes the ball just goes like way up in the air, so you're up doing this. So they created a hat, like it was just a flat brim hat, so that you could turn your head one way or the other way, and it would block the sun out. That's my understanding, is that's the origins. Since then, baseball has become a huge pastime in American history. And it was one of the first things that we actually did before like wearing a team jersey or anything like that in the 1940s, 30s even. I think more in the 40s. No, 30s, maybe 40s. That people started wearing the hats for their favorite thing. Now, we also didn't dress up all the time. So if you were going to go do something, you would have it was a trend. You'd put the name of your company on a baseball cap. You'd put, whatever it was doing. It became part of your what you were wearing, because at that time it was the trend. Now that trend kind of stayed, and it became an Americanized thing. So as far as I understand, that's the history of the baseball hat. Now we call them ball caps or something like that, and it's, I don't know. You can tell an American from anybody else.
It's also something that I never wore in England. Yes, now look at me. I definitely look like that sort of stereotypical truck driver from an 80s film.
Yeah, he does.
My name is probably Gus or something like that. But this plaid or flannel shirt is something that I took to wearing one Christmas when a family member bought it for me, and I didn't have the heart to say no. I mean, I wish I had, but it was good in those winter months, when you didn't really care what anyone thought of you, because they all look ridiculous too, and it kept you warm. It does that. I mean, under these hot lights, I'm absolutely sweating right now, but I'll continue because I'm a pro. And it's not really the kind of shirt that's popular in Britain, mainly because we don't have cowboys. But Amy Pond did wear one in Doctor Who. There's another Doctor Who reference. What's going on? Is it? I'm just trying to be in vogue, I think, with the trending terms right now. Just for the record, she wasn't wearing one the day I met her, And yes, I've heard the Lost in the Pond jokes before. And so, this is still the time of year you might wear them. You could even be wearing them going into spring, but certainly wouldn't recommend wearing them much beyond then, especially because, as I've established before, it gets very hot and humid in the Midwest. And because of that, I also wouldn't wear our next entry.
Okay, so here's the thing. Yeah, this is a flannel shirt that I have. I have a bunch like this. And this is November, so this morning it was below freezing. So the whole point of it is that, yes, I could button the whole thing up and have a regular shirt, an undershirt kind of thing on it. As the day goes on, it will get to, our high today is going to be 60. So it's like, 20, I don't know, degrees Celsius. They've really screwed us up with the whole Fahrenheit thing. But what you can do is you can roll the sleeves up throughout the day as it gets warmer, because our seasons are so weird. And so as you're getting through the day, then you can unbutton it, and sometimes you can even put something on top of this in the mornings. But as the day goes on, you want to unlayer, and flannel is very good at keeping you warm. But if you can unbutton it, and it's you can see what kind of time of day it is. So it became the kind of thing that people would wear if they're working outside. So you see a lot of people who work in the labor industry, who do physical jobs, they'll show up wearing one of these, then they'll take it off in the middle of the day because welcome to the United States and its multiple seasons. And, the freezing at night, really hot during the day. It's weird.
Beyond winter. Okay, I'll be honest with you. Growing up in the United Kingdom, I did wear pajamas when I was a child because I perceived it as something thereafter that only children did. And so I got out of it and started sleeping in my boxers until that became too much and I started sleeping like a French person sunbathes. But, and this probably lends itself to the fact that we live in the coldest place in the entire universe.
When I think about that.
And the fact that my wife's family always buy pajamas for everybody at Christmas every single year. It's getting embarrassing now. I've got about 12 pairs in that closet. And so I'm just going to give you a quick sample of what I wear these days. It's these perfect Star Wars pants, just pajama type things. And they're kind of made of similar material.
I have those.
So it is sometimes too warm in that room where we sometimes have to close the door because the cat will come in and scratch us otherwise and the heat just cranks up. Anyway, you didn't need to hear that. Yeah. This is too much. It's good when you're being lazy and you just want to walk around in your house in this. You don't have to be naked, and which is particularly good when you got people round. Much better to have people hang out than you. But never mind. And just a little word on the spelling of pajamas. Of course, in Britain we spell it Pyjamas, whereas in America it's Pajamas. Okay. I frankly don't care which spelling it is, although I did write an article about this very difference many years ago. If you would like to look into the etymology of that word, link is below. Now, sometimes if the stars align and the cat is being well behaved, and we can leave the...
Okay, yeah. So I wear pajama pants. A lot of guys will just wear the pants, especially during, again, as I said, like right now, this is fall or autumn and the leaves are falling. It is getting very cold at night. And so you walk around the house and you would normally wear those with either a long sleeve shirt like I'm wearing here, and you wouldn't wear flannel on top. You would never wear something matching, or just like a t-shirt. And the whole reason for that is that it gets windy, drafty in the houses that they build here in the States. Let's just face it, they are made of sticks. And the heat doesn't, it turns on at a certain time. It's okay, but when you go to sleep, you can wear it when if you want, or you could sleep in your boxers. People in America are kind of just whatever. I mean, there was a time when I went commando to bed. But then you kind of grow out of it, and that changes. So I wear, I wear the same kind of things. My son does that too. Although for some reason he's got this thing about coming home, taking off his shirt and going to the bathroom, and then it stays off until the next day and he goes to school. So.
Door open. It gets a bit chilly in there, and I get cold feet. Not in the metaphorical sense, but in the literal sense. Of course we wear socks in the United Kingdom. I mean, who doesn't wear socks? Except the French, perpetually naked. But here, I take into wearing not just socks, but extra thick socks, and particularly, of course, during the winter, something that I've talked about before. I didn't think...
And this is because frostbite is a thing. And I'm in Pennsylvania, so we're on a very similar latitude here.
I'd need them. I didn't think I'd ever need anything quite as thick as this, but they are. They're about that thick. They are nice, I will say that. And sometimes they're good to wear beyond the winter, like in the springtime, right? I'll wear them. Oh. I'll wear them in the house, especially when the floor hasn't been cleaned, and I'm too lazy to do that. It's a nice substitute for slippers. Although I do have those. I've always had slippers. But in my drawer at any one time, I do have the odd, sometimes very odd, pair of socks. And these are literally odd. I don't...
Yeah, they are.
Not sure what happened with those. Sometimes that will happen, though, in my life. It's just the way I roll. But so long as they keep my feet warm, who cares if they match? No one's going to see them because you're wearing those big, hefty boots that I wear in winter. Incidentally, if you are wondering why those winter boots and the big winter jacket haven't made this list, it's because I've covered them before. I don't want to tread old ground.
Okay.
That was a joke about footwear. Besides, we're moving away from winter. Spring is almost upon us. I mean, it is in March, technically, although I live in Chicago. So let's finish now on an item of clothing I not only wear in the winter, but when the flowers are blooming. It's not a Hawaiian shirt.
Let's put a nail in this coffin.
Yes, jeans, but not just any pair of jeans. Old Navy jeans. I did wrestle with the idea of including my H&M pair of jeans in this very list, but there are two reasons I didn't. First,
that's more of a girl's store.
We have H&M in the UK. Secondly, and no offence, but H&M clothes tend to fall to pieces. If I could think of an appropriate phrase here, it might be what my British compatriots refer to as absolutely pants. So, I've just realised that's literally true here. It sort of goes with the territory. But Old Navy jeans, and I'm not getting paid to say this, so don't get that idea in your head. Old Navy jeans are way better, far, far more durable, and they keep me warm during the... Sometimes I don't even have to double up. There are some pairs of trousers under which I will wear my cycling pants, which are very tight, especially around the legs. And you don't want to see me in those on a French beach or otherwise.
All right, so we do wear jeans, and to be completely transparent, wearing them now. Jeans they were cheap to make. All right, they were something that was created in like the 1860s. It was for people who were mining, and the idea was to make a rugged pair of pants because from 1860 to like even like 1950, there were a lot of people who did skilled jobs, physically skilled jobs, and clothes would get wrecked, and you wanted to buy something that would last long. So they came up with this canvas-like material, and they made it so that, with all these weird little pockets, and there are like three different kinds. There's carpenter, there's regular jeans, and there's some other kind. Now it's like sort of construction, whatever. I don't know. And the idea was that, each pocket had something that you would want to, have something there. And then, so any part that could rip would have an extra, I don't know, like an extra section. You would have it riveted together, so they'd have rivets in them. It was actually very well made for cowboys, for people who do labor. So there's like a cowboy style. And the old jeans go for a lot of money now. But that's pretty much it. And just like the baseball cap, you just need to wear a baseball cap, jeans, regular old shirt. If you want to wear flannel, that's fine. You're going to look just like an American. That's kind of why we have all this stuff. And you put it all together, and you look at the history of that. You trace the history of these things. That's where you get the way Americans look and the way Americans dress. And so when you see us in your country or on vacation out of the U.S. That's that. I mean, you go to Mexico, it's that way. You can go to South America. A lot of places are like that. Even Canada. They're very much into flannel for the same reasons. So it's kind of maybe a continental thing. All right, guys, have a great one. Talk to you.